Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to your week 7 video. I know that this video is posting maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours later than normal. I wasn't feeling good this weekend and the beginning of this week, so I didn't get a chance to record it as early as I usually do so that it will post at 8 a.m., but it's not going to post much later than that, so I still think we're in a good place. I want to start this video by looking at our Monday memo that posted yesterday. Okay, so we're finishing this module, and so this Monday memo looks a little different. In the past, we've been doing a module a week. So every Monday memo was just trying to introduce the entire module, hit the highlights, and moving on. This one's a little bit different. We've only got 2 major things going on this week: your discussion board writing share, and then the final draft of your comparison essay that you need to submit by Sunday. So by go over this, I want to look at the assignments due for this week and how it is structured and why it is structured that way. And then I will go into the discussion board, the writing share actual link, and show you what to do from there. Okay, so you have 2 midweek assignments. Okay, you can do these as early as possible, but these are due dates for when they need to be done by. The latest they should be done. Okay, so Wednesday, tomorrow, you need to upload your rough draft to the Module 6 Writing Share Discussion Board link by the end of the day tomorrow. Okay, and like I said, I explained here how to upload and what to do to upload. I will show you that in just a minute, but you need to upload your work in progress, your rough draft. Okay, and we haven't done this before. We've usually just submit your writing share around Thursday submit your brainstorming or plan around Thursday. I look at it, give you some feedback, and then you submit your final draft the next Sunday. We've just been really clicking one module a week that way. This is a little bit different. We're able to take some time. So hopefully, based on what I said in your Friday wrap-up or Thursday wrap-up, the wrap-up last week, I kind of said, hey, start working on this rough draft because, you know, it's coming next week. We actually get a chance to look at each other's work in progress, which we haven't really had a chance to do. And we're doing this for a couple reasons. First and foremost, getting someone else's eyes on your work in progress, on what you are working on, how you're writing, the flow of your essay is invaluable to writing a good essay. That's number 1. Number 2, this is also good practice because in other English classes, English 111, if you have to take English 112, you will do writing shares, or sometimes they're called peer reviews. You will do those in your classes in some way, shape, or form. You're going to be reading someone's work and giving them suggestions and feedback, and someone's going to be reading your work and giving you suggestions and feedback. Okay, so and this is important because we can get an idea of what does the reader understand about what we're saying? What do they not understand? What do we need to explain better? What maybe I need to add more examples or details to help the reader get from point A to B to C to D, not A to D. We need to connect the dots and walk the reader through our argument, through our comparison. Okay, you're comparing 2 classes. The reader may or may not know about these 2 classes that you're comparing. And so what details and what things can you give them so that they understand the way you're comparing these classes? So sometimes all the time, we are too close to our own writing. We know what's going on. We know the comparisons because we know the classes. We took the classes. We know them. And so you may have a tendency to gloss over or brush by some things that your reader really needs to understand what's going on. And so having someone else read it and giving their viewpoints can really help you see your writing in a different way and understand how to polish it and make it better. Okay, this is the same concept that authors do when they have beta readers, people that read their work in progress to help them catch any sensitivity issues, any irregularities in the plot line, anything like that. They have beta readers for that. And then they also have ARC readers, people who read an early publication so that they can leave reviews, so that they can get some information out about their book before it comes out. This is the same thing. You are letting a reader look at your work in progress to kind of catch any issues you may have before you continue working on the final project or the final piece. I want to reiterate right here that writing is never perfect. Never perfect. It's publishable and polished. That's it. Okay, and so going through a writing share like this helps you polish and get your ideas straight because you've been too close to this essay for almost 2 weeks. And so it kind of lets you have a step back. It also lets you read somebody else's work, and often reading somebody else's work can inspire your own. Okay, so very, very important. Make sure that full rough draft, that means an introduction with a thesis statement, 3-point paragraphs, and a conclusion. This needs to be a 5-paragraph rough draft, is submitted by the end of the day to the discussion board tomorrow. End of the day tomorrow, okay, Wednesday. Now, Friday is the due date for when you need to have your review of someone's essay completed and uploaded, okay? So the whole reason why I want everybody to submit their rough draft by Wednesday is so that people have at least 2 days to pick a rough draft, review it, answer 6 questions, and post those answers by Friday at the end of the day. Okay. If I had everything due by Friday, excuse me, and some people wait till late Friday to post their essays, then people who can't do it late Friday won't be able to get their reviews done. So we have to stagger it where everybody's essays are due a certain time to give people time to do the review part that's due on Friday. So that's why there's 2 different due dates for this one assignment, and that's why it's split like that. As soon as you submit your rough draft by Wednesday, you will be able to see the other rough drafts that are submitted. So if you want to, Wednesday, as soon as you submit your rough draft, if there are rough drafts there to review, you can go ahead and pick one and review it and get it done if you want. But I want you to understand that if you don't submit it by Wednesday, there's a chance that maybe you won't get yours reviewed. Because if other people are already reviewing what's been submitted, but you don't submit till Friday, yours may not get reviewed, but you're still required to review one because that's part of your grade, okay? So this is 2 parts. Submit your rough draft, review a rough draft. You have to do both of those to get full credit on your assignment, okay? But if you submit your rough draft late, I can't control if someone is going to do their review late, okay? With that in mind, when you're ready to do your review, please look at the discussion board, and I'll show you in a minute how you'll be able to see it, but please look at the discussion board, and if you see a couple essays that have already gotten reviews, people have already posted their answers to the questions, and then you see a couple essays that nobody has reviewed yet, pick one of those, okay? Don't pick one that 1 or 2 people have already reviewed. Pick one that doesn't have a review yet, and you work on that one, okay? I've even had some classes, some students in the past have picked an essay and just made a comment and said, hey, I'm going to review this essay. So that they've kind of like reserved that essay, and then anybody else who looks at the discussion board knows that one's going to get a review. I can pick something else. You can do that. That's not required. That's just something that you can do to make sure that people know that you've picked this essay even though you haven't posted the review yet. But then you need to follow through and post the review. Okay. So this assignment is really relies on everyone working together, everyone doing the work, everyone being responsible, because it's not just for your own grade, you're helping your classmates as well. Okay. So it's a big deal. And so what I'm going to do is, starting Wednesday, tomorrow, and Thursday, I'm going to start looking at your rough drafts as well. I'm going to leave comments. I'm not going to write on your rough draft and leave comments in your rough draft like I do when I grade your papers, but I am going to read through everybody's rough draft, and I am going to make any general notes and comments that can help you make your essay better. So I will be doing that. I'll be leaving comments. I won't submit your grade until the assignment has been completed, but I will be leaving submission comments. So please check those throughout the day, tomorrow, Thursday, probably even Friday, so that you can get my feedback on your rough draft. You'll have a peer's feedback on your rough draft, and then you'll be able to make great revisions to it before you submit it on Sunday when it's due. Okay, so let's go into the module and let's look. These are the 2 assignments that we're talking about. This, of course, is where you submit your essay, and you can see July 13th, that's Sunday, you submit your essay here, but here's the discussion. So if you click this link, you're going to see this. And before you submit anything, you're not going to, you could just see when I scrolled, you could see somebody has submitted some stuff already. You won't be able to see anything until you submit your essay, just so you know. Okay. So you can, and I have it here, please submit your rough drafts by Wednesday. Okay. And make sure you have an introduction, 3-point paragraphs, and a conclusion. So we're looking for 5 paragraphs. And the way you submit is you're going to click this reply button. And then you're going to have a text box, and then you have an attachment link here. So you can click attach and then pull up wherever you have your work saved and click, and then click reply. Or you can come up here to insert and go to insert document, upload document, click here, and then open up wherever your document is. And when you double click it, it appears up here, and then you can click submit. That's how you upload in Canvas normally. And when you do, there'll be like a link here, and then you can just click reply. Either way will work. You can copy and paste your essay into this text box if you want. We're not looking at MLA format. We're not looking at any of this. Is a rough draft. We are just looking at the content. So there's 3 different ways that you can put your essay up here. Once you get your essay here and click reply, then you will be able to see the essays that have already been submitted. Okay? So then what your job is you need to choose one of those essays that you're going to review, and you're going to answer these 6 questions. So what a lot of students do is they will highlight it like I have it here, and they will copy it, and then they will open a Word document and they will paste it here and then answer questions. So they're going to Control-C copy, and then they come here and they Control-V paste, and then they'll go here under question number 1. Does the writer introduce the 2 classes being compared and present 3 points of comparison? What is their thesis statement? Write it word for word. And then whatever essay I read, yes, the writer does introduce the 2 classes, and then maybe I'll name the classes. I'm just making this up here. And I don't know. There you go. I'm making this up. It's to 2 classes and present 3 points. Their thesis is, and then I'm going to quote their thesis statement. All right, write it word for word. I can go look at their essay and copy and paste it in here if I want. All right, that's their thesis. According to me, the reviewer, this is what I think their thesis is. So when you think about it, if someone says, hey, this is their thesis statement, and you read it and you're like, that's not my thesis statement. Okay, that's something to think about, because why didn't they know what your thesis statement was? Did they just not understand, or were you unclear? So things like this is where you can go, maybe I need to think about it. Maybe I need to rewrite it. Maybe my thesis wasn't in the right spot, because it's supposed to be the last sentence of the introduction. And if that's where they were looking and that's not where your thesis was, maybe that's how they got confused. So this can kind of help you. These peer reviews or writing shares can kind of help catch those few little minor errors that you're like, I need to fix that. Point number 2, does the writer use the point-by-point organization? And you can say, yes, they do. These are their 3 points, and list them. Number 3, does the writer use examples for each of their points of comparison? Give 1 example from each body paragraph. So this is asking you to point out some details. If you can't point out some details, or if they don't have very many details, then you need to note that. If you can point out, like their first point is very clear, but maybe their second and third point not so clear, you need to point that out and say, I had a hard time finding your examples for your second and third point. Maybe you could do this. Give them suggestions, recommendations, but be clear with what you're saying. Be specific. These should not be yes, no, yes, yes, yes. If you do that, you are not going to get full credit for this writing share activity. Absolutely not. Okay. Question number 4. Does the writer use transitions within and between paragraphs to help the essay flow? Give 2 examples of how they use transitions. Now, this could be a transition sentence at the end of a paragraph. They could maybe use words like however, or therefore, or furthermore, things like that. Additionally, for example, things like that that help move the paragraph. Be specific. In the 3rd paragraph, they end it with this transition sentence. This is a great example of moving from one point to the next. In the 4th paragraph, they use several transition words like however and although to move the reader through the paragraph. This is not a yes or no question. Okay. Number 5, what did the writer learn from comparing the 2 classes? Now, this may be spread out throughout the body paragraph, or this may be what they address in their concluding paragraph. What did they learn from this comparison? How do they feel about these 2 classes? And you need to summarize what they've said. A couple sentences, okay? And then this one is so important. Please don't skip it. What does the writer do well in this essay? Give them specific positive feedback here for what they do well, okay? And then you're going to take all these answers. You can save it. Go ahead and save this somewhere where you can find it on your desktop or in your download folder or in your ENG-025 folder or wherever you can save it, where you can find it. Save this, and then you'll go back into the discussion board and you'll go underneath that person's essay and you'll click reply. And then you'll attach upload your, or copy and paste it in. You'll upload your answers to these 6 questions right underneath their essay. And then they can reference that, and you can reference that after Wednesday, after Thursday, after Friday, when they're working on putting the final touches on their essay and revising their essay to make it the best polished essay it can be. They can refer back to your comments, okay? That's why we're doing it this way, in a discussion board format, all right? So I hope that helps you understand a little bit about, first of all, why we're doing this activity, second of all, how it can help, and then third, the ability for you to be able to recheck and go back and look at some things that were said is very valuable in the revising and editing part of writing your paper. All right. One other thing I want to say, you are the writer. If someone makes a suggestion for your paper and you don't like it, you don't have to do it. You don't. The job that you have is to read the feedback that someone leaves you and think about it. Will this make my paper better? Do I know how to do this? Do I know how to revise like they're asking me to? Or does this just not, this doesn't fit. I don't like what they're saying. I don't want to do that. Think about it. It's okay if you don't take someone's suggestion. And on the flip side, it's okay if someone doesn't take your suggestion. Everybody's writer's voice is different. That's why I'm trying to ask questions that are based on the structure only. But you are free to give suggestions, what you think might sound better, what might work better in a particular part of the essay. And when you read that, what somebody thinks you should or should not do in your essay, remember, the choice is yours. Okay? The choice is yours. And then you read the feedback, you decide if you want to use it or not, and then you let it go. Okay? Not every suggestion is a great groundbreaking suggestion, and that's okay. All right. So please don't get upset if someone leaves comments that you don't like or you don't agree with. On the flip side of that, be kind in your feedback. Make suggestions. Maybe try this. What do you think this would sound like? Don't be judgmental in your comments. This doesn't sound good. You need to change this. This is a horrible way to write this. I mean, y'all, I've seen it all. Okay. Be kind in your comments. All right. This is to be helpful. That's what this is for. Okay. So see it as such. See it as a way to polish your essay. And we're trying to all work together as a group to make each other's essays better. That's the job of this assignment. Okay. All right. Let me know as you work through this if you have any questions or concerns. I am here to help, and I hope you have a great week with the writing share and polishing your essays. I look forward to reading them. Bye.